Well, welcome back, and now we have Sean Quinn here with the weather.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're going to be looking at the new work week as well as a new month in about a day or so. So let's go ahead and look outside. You can see a lot of haze out there. When we have all that heat, typically you lose the marine layer. And as you can see in this picture, we're starting to get it back slowly but surely. Cloud cover starting to fill back in as moisture sort of surges back in with the ocean influence, which, by the way, is quite warm. So that typically kind of knocks down the marine layer's ability to sort of form clouds. But they are out there. And you can see today's highs lopping off a few more degrees from what we saw on Saturday and much more than what we saw late last work week as it was really, really hot around the region. So everybody kind of back, still a little bit above normal for most areas. Perhaps the inland areas were right about where you should be, but still some of our beaches kind of holding on to some of that warmth out there. I don't think anybody really complaining. Again, the wind advisory through 4 a.m., that sundowner, elevated fire danger as well. Really don't like to talk about that so much as we're advertising that a fire will break out, but if one were to in this region right here, of course, with those winds could really be driven very quickly, especially downslope into the Santa Barbara south coast as we head into the late night and early morning hours. It should drop off about 4 a.m. So that's what we're looking at again. Another sundowner, and it may even come back again tomorrow night. No official watches or advisories, but definitely the conditions might be there. Temperature-wise, everyone mainly in the 60s and 70s right along the central coastal areas. A tad bit warmer, of course, with that offshore effect. Those winds right along the south coast will likely keep the temperatures up as long as those winds do indeed continue to blow. And you can see right there, still seeing those winds, and will likely continue at least until midnight, perhaps again till very early tomorrow morning. Looking out in the Pacific Ocean, boy, a lot of activity. It's very active. That is Jimena. And then right there, there's Ignacio. Good news is making a little right turn, kind of running over the top of Hawaii, not necessarily running right into it, which is great news. But boy, they're getting a lot of surf and even some rain. And then as you saw on that map before this, Jimena could also be rolling in that direction over the next several days. So we'll definitely need to keep a very close eye on that. Step out of the way and look at our own map. Look at that. More marine layer is expected across the next couple of days, right along the coastal areas. That should keep us on the mild side. So the good news is nothing too shocking to the weather system, but will likely start to cool things down and get us back into more normal sort of a pattern as we head into early September. There's also looking at the forecasted rain totals across the region, and good news is we're starting to see a little more activity for the Pacific Northwest. Of course, firefighters up there would love to get as much as they could out of Mother Nature, and it looks like indeed they are seeing just a little bit more of that activity because they've been so dry. Overnight going into the 60s along the south coast, a little cooler as you head farther north. Your daytime highs tomorrow right about where they should be for this time of year. That means some 60s, 70s near the beaches, 80s, maybe a few 90s out there as you head farther inland. As far as surf for us, there is some wave energy out there. The good news is it's pretty active, but it's a little messy with a northwest wind swell and a ground swell out of the southwest. Quick look at a couple of our maps. There it is. We cool things down, but it still stays very nice for Santa Barbara. Perhaps a little warmer toward the end of the week. And we'll just kind of look at maybe one more map right there. San Ynez Valley, still right about where we should be for this time of year once we get into Monday and Tuesday. And again, maybe a little bump up at the end of the 7-day, but overall, a really nice forecast.
Well, good. We're having a little break from all the heat. So.
That's right.
All righty. Now, Straight Outta Compton was #1 at the box office for the 3rd weekend in a row.
Believe I'm starving, but when I come back, boy, I'm coming straight out of town.
The musical biopic, which depicts the rise of iconic rap group NWA, brought in $13.2 million in ticket sales. It's made a little